Hey everyone, it's Ivan, kitbadger.com, out here for another gear review, and today, talking gloves. These guys right here, which are the Guide Lite Gloves by Beyond. Big picture, what are they? They are a lighter version of their guide glove. Actually, if you saw, I did a review of their guide glove a while ago, which is honestly just that, a heavier duty version of these. And these, being the Guide Lite Glove, or a lighter version of it. I actually really like them. They are kind of, for me, just a turnkey backcountry glove that are both insulated, but not kind of overly insulated. In that, when I say that, if I'm gonna be out and it's gonna be really cold, guide gloves, way to go. And when I say really cold, I mean like pretty much the entire time the temperature range is gonna be below freezing, like a good bit below freezing, then yeah, absolutely the guide gloves. These pretty much anything to a little below freezing up to, I don't know, probably like 60s, low 70s. Once you get warmer than that, don't really have a ton of need for gloves. But I will say I still get a lot of use out of these, even in those warmer temperatures, and it's still worth bringing. Part of it is being able to just scale. So oftentimes it's going to be really cold in the morning when you step off, and you don't want to have a bunch of layers on, because now you have to peel all your layers off, stop, take them off, stow them somewhere, all that stuff. So for me personally, what I'll usually end up doing is I'll have some sort of lightweight breathable layer, like a base layer, whether it's like a merino, like quarter, half zip, long sleeve, something like that, that I can mechanically vent, unzip that front, I can pull the sleeves up, but I'll also usually end up wearing gloves and a beanie, because it's very easy to just pull the beanie off when I start to warm up even more, pull the gloves off. As soon as I stop or slow down, beanie back on, gloves back on. Really easy to just help regulate temperature and not wet out layers unnecessarily. But where these really shine usually is actually at camp. These things 100% save my hands. If you want to tear your hands up, go do some camp chores. And when I say camp chores, go break sticks and collect firewood, stuff like that. Being able to have something rugged and durable, to include just like sawing and stuff, so you're not getting blisters, these are great for that. And they're also, I would not call them waterproof, water resistant, I guess. And I have and continue to treat them. Beyond actually makes this amazing, it's kind of like this bee balm wax treatment stuff for leather. And yeah, basically just rub it in there. It does a good job. And even when these get cold, when they get wet, in my experience, usually still warm, as long as they don't get cold. What do I mean by that? So these will eventually wet out if you're doing stuff in the snow or rain, things like that. As long as you're still active though, they'll stay warm. If you take these off and they actually have an opportunity to get cold, really unpleasant. You don't want to put them back on, like your hands will be cold when you put them on. If you need to take the gloves off for some reason, put them inside some sort of stash pocket where they're staying next to your body. When you pull them out, even if they're damp and you put them on, totally great. Hands end up being and continuing to stay warm, which is pretty important, because once you lose dexterity, you're kind of in trouble. So I guess go over some of the features on these. I've definitely put in some use with these. You have all this leather palm here, and then these were at one point touch capacitive, both on the index finger as well as the thumb. That kind of is no longer there. On the back face is this material, which is not leather. It does a pretty good job stopping wind and relatively water resistant. And then up here, pretty short kind of gauntleted wrist. Can undo that, makes it easier to put it on, and then seal it up, keep those elements out. And you can actually clip them together here. I've never actually done that. And right here, if you're going to, you can go ahead and clip them onto like a carabiner, so they hang and assist in drying. Overall, yeah, pretty solid, pretty rugged. I've put in a lot of time with these gloves. I really like them. They've done a good job. One, as I mentioned, just backcountry chores, gathering firewood, cutting stuff down, breaking sticks, whatever, stuff that would otherwise tear your hands up. And also being able to still manipulate things. So fire starting, for example, rather than having these big bulky gloves and trying to do something, you actually have a fair bit of dexterity with these. What other places have I used these? I've actually done a bunch of shooting with them. I took them because I needed some gloves because it was going to be cold, which it was. I was actually wearing these as well as the Beyond Level 7, top and bottom, at the Moons Out, Goons Out. It was a night vision competition back east. It's really cold. Ended up raining at least one night. And it was down in, I think, like the 20s by the time we finished one night also. Definitely wore these. Definitely kept my hands warm and still had enough dexterity to manipulate my rifle. Also, it's probably part of the wear. Ended up losing all of my touch capacitiveness, basically jamming magazines, especially like 7.62 by 39, but it is what it is. I will say, pretty good for shooting rifle. Not like they are suboptimal for shooting pistol, but there's not a lot of insulated gloves that are good for shooting pistol. You can absolutely do it, and they are more dexterous than a lot of insulated gloves. But yeah, insulated gloves and pistol, it's just a hard one. They did a great job though with rifle, absolutely. Are there things I don't care for? Something to be aware of, I guess, is just anything with a gauntleted, well, any gauntleted glove, barring something that comes and is cut off right there. It's just, it doesn't play with watches. So it'll basically push your watch up and then you're like, why does my arm hurt? Because it's constricted. So really any type of gloves like these, if you're wearing them, you pretty much just take your watch off. That's cost of doing business. If you're looking for a solid pair of backcountry gloves, I would take a look at these. While their guide gloves are most certainly warmer, also have less dexterity, I think these probably for most people, depending on environment, probably fit the bill a lot better. Just kind of a broader range of temperatures, going up into those warmer temperatures and still keeping you warm in some of those colder temperatures. And really honestly, just saving your hands, to include just like manipulating fire stuff, where grabbing things that you probably otherwise would not want to bare hand, you got gloves for that. Again, probably won't celebrate it because you can eventually destroy them with fire and heat, but yeah, definitely save your hands. Also, not overly heavy. I don't know if I mentioned it, about 4 ounces. And you get them directly through Beyond. There's a size chart on their site, pretty true to what it says. These right here are medium. They fit incredibly well. And price-wise, I want to say around 70 bucks. But yeah, pretty cool. Been pretty pleased with them. If it's something you're interested in, there'll be a link down below. And as always, thanks for joining us at kitbadger.com. Look forward to seeing you next time.